Today, I want to help you to discover a little known secret to lasting happiness and massive success in your business. It's a secret that not many people have actually heard of or even really contemplated that dramatically improves your peace of mind, your joy, your satisfaction, while 2xing, 5xing, even 10xing your income. So, if you're tired of chasing success, money, recognition, really only to find that those things don't bring true happiness and peace, but instead they bring subtle feelings of stress and anxiety, then I want to share with you a groundbreaking insight that's backed up by research and backed up by me personally working with more than 10,000 clients over the last 30 years. And this is a secret that I'm finally ready to make public and broadly available. It's something that I've kept very close to the vest and on purpose. It's unconventional and it flies in the face of traditional success advice. And up until about 10 years ago, it was just a hypothesis that I had that I was running experiments with. But after I proved it was valid and that it worked and that it was repeatable, well, then it was a secret that I used with my ultra successful clients who paid me millions of dollars to teach them. And, candidly, I wanted to profit from the secret before other people in my industry caught on. So working with empowered, successful people just like you, I've helped them to 2x, 5x, 10x their income, but not through improved productivity. Not by optimizing their systems, not through new lead gen sources or creating more leverage or improving their sales and marketing. I help people to 2x, 5x, 10x their income, their productivity, their success by achieving the one thing that changes everything: enlightenment. Now look, stick with me here. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about you looking up the word enlightened and seeing what it really means, because what it really means is having or showing a modern, rational, and well-informed outlook or perspective on life. And that's what we're talking about here. If you've been in your career now for 10, 15, or even 20 years, I think you might find this hard to believe, but I want you to consider that you have been relating to your life and to your business with an outdated perspective that makes it a grind, and that your perspective about life and success make it harder than it needs to be. Like you, my friend, are being limited by your perspective, and it's robbing you of the exponential productivity gains, and more importantly, the joy of living that is really and truly your birthright. Now, I know you've followed the plans laid out by the success gurus, that I realize you've worked on yourself, you've mastered your craft, but I suspect you've done all of that only to realize there's no peace or happiness in that achievement. I mean, I've watched my type A, super successful clients, owners of national real estate companies, hedge fund managers on Wall Street, CEOs of VC firms, regional mortgage companies, global heads of firms like Goldman Sachs or B of A. I've watched them climb the ladder to success only to have their marriages fall apart, to grow distant from their children. And these are the very people they were trying to support and to try to create a great life for, who didn't appreciate their efforts. They didn't acknowledge the value of their success. They became entitled or demanding, like all this money and all these resources are just normal. And I will tell you that my clients ended up bewildered, disillusioned about success. I mean, they pushed themselves to the extreme, hoping that it would create a great life for themselves and for everyone that they cared for. They disciplined their bodies, the perfect diet, the regular exercise. They honed and refined their ultimate morning routine, reading the books, listening to the podcasts, attending the training, literally running at full speed on the treadmill of success, making piles of cash. And they're like looking over at their family like, hey, come on, I'm doing this for you. We're all rising together. But I want you to know that's a lie. Your mind is literally tricking you. My successful clients hoped that more money and more success would bring happiness and peace and connection and fulfillment and family time and all that stuff. They hoped that their family would appreciate their efforts. I mean, they wanted everyone in their life to do well, to be okay. But more success and more money did not and does not make that happen. And today I'm going to reveal a secret that is 30 years in the making, a secret that will transform your life. I want to help you to 2x, 5x, even 10x your productivity and success, but more importantly, I want to help you to break free from the conventional success wisdom and help you discover the true path to cultivate enlightenment, which is a peace of mind that actually fuels your success. I want to help you to find fulfillment in every aspect of your life while succeeding at the highest levels, to create a balanced and joyful existence that honors the true goal of success, which is to achieve peace of mind. I mean, come on, be honest. Like, what do you really want? You want to know that all is well. You want to be well. You want to know that it's okay, that you're going to be okay, that your family's going to be taken care of, that you have the resources to deal with the curveballs that life throws at you, and you want to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And if you boil all that stuff down into a phrase, you know what it is? Peace of mind. Look, Lacey worked to restore the love in her relationships, and the peace of mind that it created freed up the mental space and the energy that produced a 5x in her income. Joe confronted his irrational fears about being worthy, the very fears that were compelling him to work harder and harder to prove that he was good enough. And when he used enlightened perspectives in his business, he transcended those outdated ideas. He doubled his income and he started taking more time off to enjoy the success that he had. Marshall did something similar. He 10x'd his income and he started taking holidays every 4 weeks. And he did it by transcending an outdated program that told him that he was lazy and that he better keep grinding it out and working like a madman or he's going to be a loser and let his family down. Now, by the way, if you want to book some time with one of my client success strategists to talk about how you can get on this path, we got a wide variety of different programs that might be just what you're looking for, so please make a mental note of that. Let's get to this, okay? I want to share the model that makes this happen and really let you in on this secret. Now, your current level of success, the results that you're getting in your business are a function of 3 things. Your existing mindset, right? We might call it your self-talk or your attitude or your biases, your point of view, perspective about yourself, about life, about the market, your optimism, your pessimism, plus your existing structures, like where you work and how you work and the client base and your product set, your schedule, your system, your staff, your support, essentially your business model, plus your existing skill set, education, experience, your natural abilities, your talents, and the skills that you've developed over the years. Now you add all those up and you get your current results, which is your income, your reputation, your days off, your holidays, your investments, your experience of life, your well-being. Now what most people do to create more success turns out to be delusional, but it's also really practical. We all get pulled into it. So it's kind of a paradox. They work on the hard skills, modifying the existing structures, modifying and working to improve the existing skill sets, maybe adding structures, adding skill sets, but this barely moves the needle and definitely doesn't create a 2x, a 5x, or a 10x in your productivity and success. Even worse, it doesn't lead to profound states of peace, feelings of certainty, and confidence. In fact, research conducted by Harvard University, the Carnegie Foundation, and Stanford Research Center, they all concluded that 85% of job success comes from having well-developed soft and people skills. Mindset, attitude, perspective, soft, emotional, EQ, soft, and people skills. And only 15% of job success comes from technical skills and knowledge, all the stuff we normally study, right? So these statistics were extrapolated from a study of engineering education authored by Charles Mann and published in 1918 by the Carnegie Foundation. 1918! Like, we have known for almost 100 years that soft skills are critical to success. And yet, another report showed that US employers spent $171.5 billion on employee learning and development in 2021, and a tiny 27.6% of those training dollars went to soft skills training. So when you sit back and you scratch your head wondering, why are some people 2xing, 5xing, even 10xing their success and their results? Well, now you have some research that tells you why. Soft skills are 6 times more important than hard skills for job success, and yet almost everybody is spending 3/4 of all their training dollars on hard skills. Okay, so I want to take it a step further because I started my career as a sales trainer, essentially teaching the hard skills. But after bumping up against an invisible barrier to success with my clients, like over and over and over, I started to transition into the soft skill development world. And I've been in the soft skill development training industry now for a long time, I mean, for decades. And me and my fellow sort of psychology and spirituality focused colleagues have been promoting and teaching sort of psychology based and new age, phenomenon based stuff for a long time. And promoting what appears to be very powerful soft skills that make a difference in your self-talk, your attitude, your biases, your point of views, about yourself, life, whatever, right? Optimism. But even then, the traditional soft skill development, so widely promoted by the top mindset teachers of the world, only produced incremental results. And as a coach accountable for producing results for my clients, that was perplexing. That wasn't good. My teachers and my gurus and my coaches, they all kind of convinced me that the exponential results were possible through the soft skill development. It's like 6 times more, Matthew, right? But this idea had limitations. But in 2006, I had a breakthrough. I'd been practicing meditation techniques, and my mind went completely silent. The fears, the doubts, the irrational thoughts, they all just like poof, silent, gone. And what stood revealed was awe-inspiring. It was a peace that was so authentic that I would burst into tears of joy on a regular basis. Waves of happiness would like ripple through my body. I couldn't wipe the smile off my face for months at a time, but that feeling didn't last. Like slowly but surely, I was pulled back into the obsessive doubts about the future and fears about my children's well-being and desires to make more money, fear that I wasn't good enough. I mean, you know the drill, right? Like the same old stuff. And so I dedicated myself to figuring out how to get back to that place of peace, no fear, profound peace of mind, to do it more consistently, more predictably. And as a result, I found a flaw in the standard soft skill model. That's a tongue twister, the standard soft skill model. But let's look at it, okay? I want to look at it through the lens of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So just check this out. And for you, I mean, we can skip over the bottom part, right? It's like the bottom part of the pyramid. Your physical needs, check. Your life is a life of safety, check. You have belonging, self-esteem. If you're watching this training, if you're this far in, then it's 100% you're working on self-actualization. And so was I. And it didn't lead to persistent, profound states of peace and fulfillment. I practiced all the things you did, positive thinking and shadow work and affirmations and healing work, healing the inner child and gratitude and anger management and meditation and mindfulness. I did it all, right? I had the coaches. I did the weekend retreats. I read the books. I did all the training. And they all worked pretty well, actually. I mean, I really, really grew. They worked until they didn't work. My fearful mind reared its ugly head without warning, even though I'd done all this work. I would go into a slump or a down cycle. My productivity would drop. My well-being would be diminished. And sometimes it would take days to find my joy again, or worse, months. Now, the breakthrough happened when I applied a little-known discernment technique called applied kinesiology. And I applied it to my research and my search for how to get the anxious survival mind to shut up once and for all so I could get to work and kick some booty. And what I discovered in that process changed my life forever. And it's created exponential improvement for thousands of my clients. I discovered that there's something that triggers negative thoughts to happen without your permission. And I call them the hidden motives to survive. No matter how much inner work you do, if you're not able to distinguish the hidden motives to survive, you will always be pulled back into the illusion of survival, the illusion of threat. You know that because you have like stress or fear or doubt or uncertainty, right? That's all like a threat state essentially. You'll feel less than others for no reason. Like you won't achieve your goals, or your kids won't be okay, or you feel like you're too fat or too stupid or too ugly or not good enough, right? All of these like, ugh. I did every kind of soft skill that you can imagine that I could get my hands on, the inner work. I looked for it all. And I authentically considered myself a master of my mindset. And still, the hidden motives to survive pulled me right back into fear, doubt, concern, stress, anxiety, anger, all the negative thoughts that I was sure I had conquered. But the process of distinguishing the hidden motives to survive literally extended my ability to maintain a quiet, peaceful mind, unburdened by fear, doubt, anxiety, and concerns about my future for longer and longer and longer and longer periods of time. And as a result, I maintained my enlightenment. I was able to maintain and have been able to maintain a modern, rational, well-informed outlook for long, long periods of time. In fact, all the meditation and mindfulness training that I had done early on in my life, it like kicked in all of a sudden. Finally, it like started working. It was almost like I finally found the missing secret that all my teachers were bragging about, but I wasn't able to achieve myself. By distinguishing the hidden motives to survive, I had a modern, rational, well-informed, present moment outlook most of the time. And what you could call this is an enlightened state. The resulting productivity gains that followed blew my mind. I blew my numbers out of the water. My income skyrocketed up by 5.5 times in the first year. I 5x'd the first year. My courage was off the charts. My creativity was incredible. Enlightenment was the one thing that changed everything. For the first time in my life, I felt like I was going to be okay. I felt like I got this. That I could devote myself to my children and it wouldn't take away from my business. I could ease up on my obsession with health and just enjoy life a bit. I could take time off and really unplug and the world wasn't going to fall apart. Enlightenment helped me to maximize my existing structures, improve my existing relationships, and to my surprise, the skills that I had spent so many years developing became more refined and more effective when I wasn't obsessing over negative thoughts, when I wasn't distracted. Deanna fought her insecurities about being good enough or being accepted her whole life. She did all the inner work that she could find, probably similar to you, similar to me, and yet she was stuck on the treadmill from hell, grinding it out 6 days a week, forcing herself to be successful and make money for her family. And she didn't dare give herself permission to follow her true dreams of being an investor, owning property all over the world, and traveling. But distinguishing the hidden motives to survive, specifically for her, the one called victim, empowered her to transcend these limitations. She literally has given up the grind. She now owns 10 Airbnb properties around the world. She's developing a yurt community in Utah. She just bought a wellness retreat in the Dominican Republic. Today, Deanna gets paid to travel. Ron was being limited by the hidden motive to survive called greed. He was afraid that if he followed his dream and went to live in other countries, he would lose his real estate sales business. And he was stuck in sort of small, fearful, conventional thinking. Using my method, he transcended those limitations, and he has built a business that makes him 7 figures working just a few hours a week, few hours a day, remotely. Me and my team would be honored to brainstorm with you about how you can achieve your own version of these kinds of results. So please don't hesitate to book some time with us to figure out how you can live the good life without the grind. So let's deepen our understanding here. How does this actually work? Well, here's what you need to know. These people that I've been featuring here, they all participated in a process called the Mental Journey to Millions. And their journey had 3 stops along the way. I want to tell you about these stops so you understand how it works. The first stop is to eliminate the negative mind chatter that blocks you from creating life-changing results. The second stop is to experience authentic clarity and peace of mind. And then the third stop on our mental journey to millions is to access the community and the other enlightened people to run bold new experiments and attract life-changing results. So let's break them down one by one, okay? Stop number 1, let's talk about how to eliminate the negative mind chatter that blocks you from attracting life-changing results. Now, we've already distinguished traditional personal development work, deep emotional work, basic meditation and mindfulness. They work, but they work temporarily. And that the hidden motives to survive blindside you. They pull you back down into a negative mindset. And at the beginning of the presentation, I alluded to the fact that from 2006 to 2016, I was creating a new system for enlightenment. And I was doing it in my private coaching practice. I was working with and still am, some of the most successful people in the world. Millionaires, 100 millionaires, billionaires, CEOs of world-changing companies. And I will tell you, with thousands of coaching calls under my belt, my system became progressively more repeatable and successful. And over the years, I've developed 110 different tactics, techniques, and processes, essentially a wide variety of options, like a buffet that you can choose from, that work well for different people in different situations, in different industries, etc. Now, I call this process the Rapid Enlightenment process. Traditional personal development work, the deep emotional stuff, the mindfulness, the meditation, it works temporarily because it actually doesn't cause you to transcend survival consciousness and enter into the domain of thriving consciousness. These things reside in Maslow's hierarchy of needs below the line on the chart here. So for example, being mindful or positive or optimistic is kind of like cutting the weeds off at the top. The roots of survival consciousness still remain, and those roots are called the hidden motives to survive. The way you eliminate the negative mind chatter that blocks you from achieving life-changing results is to transcend survival consciousness altogether. And that's represented on the chart above the line. So transcending survival consciousness is achieved by using a proprietary set of enlightened perspectives. Now, enlightened perspectives have 2 qualities to them. The first quality is being strong. Now, remember at the beginning of the training, I told you that I had this breakthrough when I started using applied kinesiology as one of the components of my research methodology. Remember that? Well, ultimately, I discovered after doing tens and tens and tens of thousands of applied kinesiology tests, I discovered that certain ideas about life and self and people in the world will universally make people physically strong when they think about those ideas, and other ideas make you go weak. And if you think about why you eat right or exercise or meditate or take care of yourself, you ultimately conclude, I do that because I want to be strong, and like all the things that you want to give up, that you're like, I need to stop doing, I need to stop drinking so much alcohol, or having so much sugar, right? Whatever it is that you binge watching shows, whatever that is, you're doing that because you instinctively know you want to give up things that make you go weak. And my research shows that there's another component that is essential to making you strong, and that is to believe ideas that physically cause the body to be strong. Enlightened perspectives are those ideas. They have two qualities. The first one, you think about them, they physically make the body go strong, like literally the body goes strong. The second quality is that they imply that all is well in the world, in life. Enlightened perspectives imply that you are not in a survival situation, you're in a thriving situation. No stress, no anxiousness, no fear, no concern is warranted. All is well. Now, when you practice enlightened perspectives, you transcend the illusion of survival consciousness and you ascend into enlightened consciousness. And enlightened consciousness characterized by the domains of thriving, okay? So Cuthberto, for example, was a mindset master. And he'd done all the training that you could find out there for the last 20 years. I mean, 100% of the people who met him were delighted by his presence and what a positive force he was in the world. And yet, he felt limited. He felt like he wasn't achieving his potential. Cuthberto knew that he could be more, do more, and he knew that he wasn't living up to his true potential. He knew it. And by practicing enlightened perspectives, working to transcend the illusion of survival consciousness, he decided to make a bold declaration that he was going to move from doing real estate investment deals that made him 30 to 40 grand per deal, which is phenomenal, to investing in things that made him millions. In one bold jump, he did a deal that made $7 million in profit. And that completely changed the trajectory of his life forever. And it was the same skills. It was the same customers, the same systems. It was the same everything. Just a new enlightened perspective that enabled him to be bold and courageous. Something that was unimpeded by insecurity or negativity. And boom, exponential results. If you're ready to discover your own version of enlightened prosperity, please feel free to book some time with one of our client success strategists, and we will lovingly, gracefully, and artfully walk you through an investigation to figure out what's right for you. We have something to help everyone at every aspect of the economic strata, from free to private masterminds to traveling and communing. So don't hesitate to book some time with us. Let's talk about the next stop on your mental journey to millions, and it is authentic clarity and peace of mind. I mean, how would you rate your peace of mind right now on a scale from 1 to 10? Peace of mind itself is a result of knowing in your bones that all is well in the world. It's a result of a perspective that has you be unaffected by political uncertainty, economic uncertainty, unaffected by your spouse or your children's breakdowns, unaffected by the influences of your parents, your brothers and your sisters, your family. Like when you know in your bones that all is well in the world, you are free. You are inspired. And now your true potential begins to be realized. Now, my proprietary methodology is called the Rapid Enlightenment Process, and it has 4 pillars. Each of them contributes to your authentic peace. And we've already spoken about 2 of them, right? We've spoken about the hidden motives to survive and enlightened perspectives. And now what I want to do is I want to introduce you to the 3rd component. This is the villain who steals your peace of mind. That sneaky, negative Nelly in your head I call the drunk monkey. Now, the drunk monkey's a nickname. It's a nickname for the source of your negative mind chatter, the voice of your worries, your concerns. The drunk monkey's the voice of all of your excuses. But here's the thing. If you don't know the 12 unconscious reflexes of the drunk monkey, then you will accidentally get tricked into believing the worry. You'll get tricked into believing the doubt and the fears and the concerns. When you learn to become aware of the 12 unconscious reflexes, authentic peace of mind becomes possible because you can clearly see that all is well in the world. Now, in that state, you're not distracted by the negative thoughts of the drunk monkey. When you see that all is well in the world, you ascend into the domains of thriving, and that's the game. Look, Roya was a mindset master, just like I talked about with Kut Berto. I mean, this is a 30-year veteran personal development person. She was at the top of the food chain, performing as a real estate agent. She had become a coach in her own right, but she was still plagued with the unconscious reflexes of the drunk monkey. The drunk monkey's negative prophecies told her that she could never live part-time in Italy and maintain her business and maintain her lifestyle. But using the methodology, she started reducing her work from 80 hours a week down to 10 hours a week while maintaining her lifestyle. And that's when the inspiration struck. She actually figured out how she could live in Italy part-time and still maintain her business here in America. Now, we want to help you do something similar. So if you want to brainstorm and figure out how to implement these tactics into your life and in your business to create some exponential growth, book some time with us and let one of our client success strategists help you to figure it out. Let's look at the last stop on the mental journey to millions, ladies and gentlemen. Boop, boop. The last stop. Accessing a community of brave, enlightened people who will support you in running bold experiments that produce life-changing results. Now, if you're going to break out of cultural norms, do something extraordinary, live your best life, throw caution to the wind, take that chance, follow your heart, live the dream now, live that dream that you've been thinking about your entire life, then you must be brave enough to run experiments and figure out the way to make that happen. Along the way, there will be breakdowns and challenges and setbacks that have the potential to stop you dead in your tracks. And you know this because you feel like your dream is just out of reach. You've either been stopped right before you started, or you made some attempts and didn't succeed, and then you give up. So here you are, congratulations. But you're missing a key component of experimentation that is achieved through an enlightened approach. Now, like I said, the rapid enlightenment process has 4 pillars. We've talked about 3 of them so far: the hidden motives to survive, enlightened perspectives, and the 12 unconscious reflexes of the drunk monkey. They are all important components of your mental journey to millions, but the 4th pillar is like the active ingredient that creates these otherworldly results. And you know what it's called? Recontextualization. Now, I know that that's a fancy word, and I apologize, but this is the skill of describing the conditions and circumstances of your life in a way that creates an empowering reality for you. Now, this is not reframing. Reframing is an aspect of survival consciousness. It's below the line on the chart, and it fails. This is not making up a new story. That's an aspect of survival consciousness that fails. It's not affirmations or visualizations or dream boards. Like, all those things reside below the line and are aspects of survival consciousness. No amount of traditional inner work will help you to transcend the irrational fears that are stopping you from living your best life. Using traditional motivational methods, you're always going to get pulled back into the hidden motives to survive. And that creates repeating patterns of self-sabotage. You get close to your goals, but you never really achieve them because you're building your castle on a marsh that it's going to sink into called the hidden motives to survive. So recontextualization is about creating personalized, enlightened perspectives on the fly, creating customized perspectives that physically make you strong and imply that the world is all is well, that all is well in the world. Because when you feel that, you're brave. When you feel that, you're courageous and experimental. Let me remind you of who is in our community and running brave, courageous experiments, people that you could be communing with. Thatch ditched the real estate grind and turned it into $100K a month in passive income. We just talked about Roya, who figured out how to live part-time in Italy. Joe experimented with optimizing his systems and doubled his income while reducing his schedule. Deanna stopped working 6 days a week to make a living, and now she owns Airbnb properties all over the world and gets paid to travel. Ron gave up his fears about having to be present all the time to make a living, and now he lives all over the world making millions of dollars back in Seattle, Washington, working part-time. Lacey restored the love in her relationships and freed up energy to 5x her income. Marshall turned his whole business model on its ear, started vacationing every 4 weeks, and he 10x'd his income in the process. Every one of these people implemented the rapid enlightenment process, and they did it running experiments to see how they could get it to work. And they did it together in a community of people who are all committed to living with enlightened prosperity. You are who you hang out with. And over the years, I've assembled small groups and large groups and events and masterminds and accountability groups, all with one purpose in mind, to help someone like you live the good life without the grind. So if you're ready to find out how to implement this into your own life, to get your own mental journey to millions rocking, please take me up on this offer to get some time with one of our success strategists. These are people just like you who've implemented these ideas into their lives, and part of their transformation is to come work with Kristen and I at Matthew Ferry International. So let's wrap this up. First, thank you for honoring your intuition and staying for this whole presentation. Good job on that. Second, if you have any questions, please feel free to connect with me, ask me questions, leave me a comment, whatever. I'm here to help. And then third, you can live the good life without the grind, but the path is unconventional. It is a path of rapid enlightenment. Let's do this, my friend.